Mourning the loss of comedian and actor Bernie Mac. The 50-year-old funny man died Saturday at a Chicago hospital.
Bernie Mac was one of the best-loved comedians of his generation.
Bernie's influence in comedy in America is on a level like Richard Pryor.
He rose from the streets of Chicago to become a major Hollywood star.
He just shined like a diamond.
He was able to battle his way to the top without compromising his style, and became a father figure to millions of Americans.
He wasn't fake. He gave part of himself. Bernie Mac was gonna tell it like it is, like he said.
But in July 2008, at the height of his career, he was hospitalized with pneumonia. After 3 weeks in intensive care, he died at the age of 50.
I mean, it's unbelievable that he died. He was one of the kings of comedy, and I really liked him. I love him.
I was completely shocked. Just saw him not too long ago, and he was, telling me he was good.
The official cause of Bernie's death was complications from pneumonia, and a statement released shortly after he died claimed that his death was not related to other health issues. But it's highly unusual for a healthy 50-year-old man to die from pneumonia. So I believe this report was not telling the whole story. Something else was going on with Bernie's body in the days leading up to his death.
Dr. Michael Hunter is a world-renowned forensic pathologist. He's performed over 4,000 autopsies to investigate and reveal the cause of death. Today, he's the chief medical examiner in one of America's biggest cities.
No autopsy was carried out on Bernie's body. So if I'm going to get to the truth of why this pneumonia became fatal, I'm going to have to evaluate all of the information available, including his account of his own life and the testimonies of those who knew him best.
Friday, July 11th, 2008, Chicago, Illinois. 4 weeks before his death, Bernie Mac is backstage at a fundraiser for Barack Obama. On the campaign trail to become president, Obama wants to impress the Chicago elite, so he invites Bernie to top the bill.
They're both from a fairly similar part of Chicago at this point, not far from each other. One of these guys is about to be president, and Bernie Mac's about to be one of the hottest comedians in the world.
Bernie, at that time, was at the top of his game. Everybody wanted a piece of Bernie. Everybody wanted Bernie in the movie, So to have that, it had to be a thrill for Barack Obama.
The 50-year-old family man has just completed shooting his latest movie, Old Dogs, with John Travolta and Robin Williams. And he's soon to return to L.A. to start work on a new TV show.
In the weeks leading up to his death, his friends and family described Bernie as being in good health. In looking at pictures, he appears to be happy and relaxed, a man enjoying his success.
But success for Bernie was a long and hard-fought struggle. He was born Bernard McCulloch in the Chicago neighborhood called Englewood in 1959. Growing up in a tough environment without a father, Bernie depended on his mom. She would drum into him lessons about survival, such as self-reliance and hard work. And Bernie would do anything to make his mom happy.
Well, everybody heard the story, I guess, about what made Bernie want to be a comedian. About, he seen his mom crying. He couldn't make her laugh. He saw TV come on, and Bill Cosby was on there, and she was laughing, and then fire went off, like, okay, well, I could do that, make my mom laugh, for the rest of her life.
This thing clicks in his mind at the age of 5, and he sees this transformation that she undergoes, and he says, maybe you'll never cry again if I can make you laugh. It's a very incredible insight, because at that point, he knows he wants to be a comedian.
From friends in class to commuters on the L train, Bernie found laughter wherever he could. But he soon had a family of his own to support, as these photos show. Here with wife Rhonda and daughter Janice. he took a string of low-paid jobs: delivery driver, fish fryer, and laborer at a scrap metal yard. After work, he would perform his comedy routine at open mic nights in Chicago's downtown clubs.
His path was so slow and so difficult and so painful and so full of failure. Worked his fingers to the bone during the day, did comedy by night.
Look at that. Boy, you know you look good, Grandmama.
Bernie was right there in front of your face. I mean, he was vulgar.
He just gave his honest opinion on how he felt.
Man, he wanted to make people laugh, and he was going to stand there and stare you down until you laughed.
I'm with you, baby. Did you see it?
It was an uphill battle, I think. But Bernie had such a strong connection with the audience because they can identify with what he was saying. He just was able to put it in words that were funny.
Give it up for I love you, baby.
His big chance came when hip-hop label Def Jam put together a national tour of the hottest urban comics.
I ain't scared of you.
Def Comedy Jam made him a household legend. By that next week, everybody all over the United States knew who Bernie Mac was.
By the late 90s, Bernie was the biggest black comedian in the U.S., selling out arenas on the Kings of Comedy tour. The reaction from his audience gave network executives at Fox the belief in Bernie as a primetime TV star.
How you want your hair, baby?
Pretty.
His award-winning Bernie Mac Show would run for 5 seasons.
You know, Bernie Mac had the #1 urban show on television, and he was the new father of America.
Bernie's rise to success is a classic rags to riches story. He grew up in a tough environment, and when I look deeply into his background, I think I found something that could be of real significance. Bernie's mother died when he was just 16, and within the course of just a couple of years, his brother and his father were also dead. We know that Bernie died at a young age of 50. So, is there a genetic link that can explain all of these deaths?
August 1976, Chicago. Bernie's mom had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Over many months, he watched her grow thinner and weaker.